Okay, what's going on, guys? So weekly challenge number, I believe it's the fourth one for the second quarter, and this is the Valiant Hearts weekly challenge, right? So we played the game at this point. Hopefully this week, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little bit ahead so we can get right to the good stuff. But we're gonna finish the game this week, and with that comes a question which has to do with the weekly challenge. So what I'm gonna do right now, and I'm so sorry to do this, I hate it, I'm gonna spoil the ending to Valiant Hearts because I need to put this on video so that you guys have it so you can do the weekly challenge that you have to do, right? And so this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna spoil this right now. You ready? Get serious. This is gonna be upsetting, okay? Here we go. So Emil dies, all right? But he doesn't die the normal way a soldier dies in combat by getting shot or wounded or anything like that. Emil ultimately turns on his commanding officer and hits him over the head with a shovel. Boom, right? And his commanding officer goes down. Now, that doesn't sound like the Emil we know and love from the video game, but what happens is, right, they're fighting in the trenches and they're attacking the Germans' trench. And they're on no man's land. And their commanding officer is just pushing them to, he's blowing the whistle, he's yelling at them to run across no man's land. And every time the French soldiers run across no man's land, they're getting gunned down and they're just dying. And so here's this commander just sending the French soldiers trying to win the battle across into no man's land. And Emil feels like he's ultimately sending them to their deaths. And this is where the whole story really becomes super sad and emotional, right? Because Emil sees his friends running out into no man's land, getting gunned down by the German machine guns, and he feels like he has to do something about it. So a couple of his friends get shot, and then Emil, panicking, doesn't want his other friends to get shot, doesn't want him to die, right? He takes his shovel and boom, right in the back of the head of the commanding officer. And the commanding officer goes down. Well, he saves his friends' lives, right? Because now they don't have to run across into no man's land. But unfortunately, Emil gets arrested for, and court-martialed for treason, okay? And they ultimately decide, because he killed the commanding officer with a blow to the head, that Emil is sentenced to death. And Emil gets put in jail, the war ends, and then they march Emil out, and Emil gets executed by firing squad. Super sad. So now the question that I have for you is, and what does this have to do with the weekly challenge? This week, you're going to write another essay, but it's not a typical DBQ essay. I'm not giving you documents or anything like that, right? This week, what you're gonna have to do is you're going to have to write a persuasive essay, right? And it's actually in your packet already. So if you looked ahead in your packet, you already saw it. So I really didn't spoil much, even though I totally just spoiled the ending, which is, it's not good that I do that. I would be mad at myself if I did that. Anyway, so with the persuasive essay you're gonna have to write is you're gonna basically have to write a whole essay on whether or not you think Emil should have been executed because he broke the law and he killed a human on his own side, or whether or not Emil should have been let go, that he was actually saving the lives of his fellow French soldiers, and that what he did the right thing even though he was arrested for it, right? And you're gonna have to structure a persuasive essay. In class this week, we're gonna talk a little bit about how to write a persuasive essay and how it's different than writing your typical social studies DBQ essays, right? So instead of having a thesis sentence in your introduction that you're echoing the essay question, your thesis in your intro is going to be your opinion. You're gonna say, like, Emil should be executed because, like, he ultimately killed a human's life and he needs to be punished for that. Or Emil should have been forgiven because war brings the worst out in people and Emil was just doing what he had to do to survive. And then in your body paragraphs, you're going to provide evidence from the game, both of Emil's character and evidence of the acts of violence that Emil does and things like that. Maybe even evidence speaking about the commander sending the soldiers out into no man's land. And you're gonna use that in your body paragraphs, using the evidence and then explaining the evidence to prove your opinion that persuading the reader to agree with you, right? So this is totally different than what the type of essays we've written before, but it's still the same intro, body, conclusion format. And again, you have to think about this, and it's designed to make you think, so please think about it. If you have questions, this whole week in class, we're gonna be playing the game, so you have to pay attention to make sure that you're documenting your evidence. We're also gonna be finishing our packets in class, which will help you go back when you're trying to write your essay, looking through your packet to find new evidence. So that's what we're doing this week in Weekly Challenge, right? We're gonna try to make a decision on a meal, right? We love the guy, the French farmer, but you know, he got in trouble and he ended up costing him his life. So we have to decide whether that was right or wrong, and that's up to you. So get to it. Good luck this week, and enjoy your holiday. There's no project over the holiday. You have 2 full weeks of just paradise. Like, I'm gonna literally sit back. You can't, hold on, you can't see. Gonna sit back and, oh yeah, kick my feet up. Christmas vacation, baby. Oh, you're still here? Go do the assignment. Get out of here.